single snapshot can reset your spending. In the next 11 minutes you will learn to use simple images of your daily purchases to guide smarter choices and build a calmer, clearer relationship with money. This approach is grounded in psychology rather than hype, and it stays focused on everyday decisions rather than complex markets or speculative bets. You will discover how small, visible records can reshape your attention, trigger reflective pauses, and steer you toward choices that align with your longer-term goals. The method is deliberately practical, not theoretical, and it starts with a simple habit you can perform today. The core idea is to capture a slice of your spending in a way that makes the data hard to ignore yet easy to act on. Instead of waiting for a monthly total screen that feels abstract, you will create bite-sized feedback that lands in your daily routine. The snapshot itself is not a plan, it is a prompt that nudges your brain toward the next right choice. When you see a photo, receipt, or quick note tied to a purchase, your brain has a moment to reassess the impulse before it becomes a repeatable habit. The snapshot approach is compatible with many budgeting styles because it focuses on perception and self-regulation rather than rigid rules. It works whether you are trying to squeeze a little more from a tight budget or simply want to spend with greater awareness. What counts is the pattern you build around noticing and reflecting rather than the exact amount you saved in a given week. The first step is to understand what a snapshot is and what it is not. A snapshot is a lightweight, immediate record that makes spending tangible. It is not a formal audit, and it does not require a perfect ledger on day one. It is a conversation starter with yourself about how much value you derive from the things you buy, how often you buy them, and how those choices fit into your larger goals. The snapshot is best kept simple. A photo of a receipt, a quick note about the item, and a rough category tag can be enough at first. The goal is consistency, not perfection. As you practice, you can layer in additional details if they help you reflect more clearly. When you commit to a snapshot routine, you create a daily rhythm that brings attention to the tiny transactions that accumulate over a month or a year. A simple practice is to capture a single image or a short entry for every purchase you make outside of fixed bills or recurring obligations. The routine should be quick enough to hold your attention but robust enough to reveal patterns over time. The psychology here is straightforward: humans respond to what they notice. If you notice you're spending more often, you will question some purchases earlier and choose to allocate money toward the things you value. The snapshot does not tell you what to buy. It helps you see what you actually buy and how often you buy it, which is the essential prerequisite for meaningful change. The method invites you to examine both the macro picture and the micro moments. On the macro level, you can see how many times you shopped for non-essential items in a week and how much those purchases contribute to your total. On the micro level, you can catch impulses before they become habits. In practice, a typical snapshot system might look like this: you take a quick photo of each receipt, or you jot down a one-line note about the purchase description, price, and category within 20 minutes of making it. You keep this in a simple folder or a note app designed for quick capture. You also record a brief reflection, such as why the item mattered in that moment or whether it fulfilled a genuine need or only offered a momentary pleasure. The reflection is important because it begins to build recognition of your own patterns. If you notice you tend to buy an extra snack after a long afternoon, you can prepare a countermeasure the next time you feel the urge. The countermeasure might be something as simple as carrying a water bottle or choosing a healthier alternative that provides similar satisfaction at a lower ongoing cost. The snapshot itself is not a plan for restraint. It is a tool to illuminate your actual behavior, and from that illumination you can craft strategies that feel doable. Consider 3 common ways snapshots show you where money goes. First, they illuminate frequency rather than just amount. A $3 coffee every weekday adds up to roughly $60 a month, which is a lot of money for a small daily ritual if it is not aligned with your broader goals. Second, they reveal habit loops. If you often buy lunch out of convenience after a late meeting, the snapshot helps you see the pattern clearly and gives you a reason to interrupt it. Third, they expose misalignment between values and actions. If your values emphasize family time and you notice you consistently spend more on entertainment than on shared activities, the snapshot prompts a recalibration of priorities. The most effective use of snapshots happens when you couple data with reflection and a plan. A simple 2-week routine can create noticeable momentum. Week 1 focuses on capturing data with minimal friction. You pick a time each day to review the purchases you recorded, label them into broad categories, and note one sentence about what you learned. Week 2 shifts toward action. You identify one or two categories where spending diverges most from your goals and test a concrete adjustment. For example, if you notice daily coffee purchases, you might switch to a home-brewed option for a week and track the difference in cost and satisfaction. If you discover that impulse snacks are a frequent temptation, you can substitute a healthier alternative and compare the outcomes. The key to success is making the snapshot routine easy to maintain. Choose a single place for all snapshots, whether it is a photo folder on your phone, a dedicated notebook, or a lightweight app. The goal is to lower the friction so you do not skip days. The cognitive load should be small enough that you complete the practice even on busy days. You can begin with a constraint like 1 snapshot per day, or you can allow yourself 2 snapshots on high-spending days. The important thing is consistency. When you review at the end of the week, look for patterns rather than isolated events. A running tally helps you see whether your changes accumulate into meaningful shifts. For example, if you reduce daily coffee purchases by 1 cup per day for 2 weeks, the savings compound. If a typical cup costs $4, that adds up to $8 saved per week, roughly $32 a month, and about $400 over a year. The effect is not only financial but psychological. Seeing a tangible result reinforces the discipline and makes future decisions easier. You may notice a fall in stress around money as your attention moves from constant budgeting anxiety to observant, calm reflection. If you can sustain this snapshot habit, you begin to experience a sense of mastery over small choices, which in turn supports larger goals like saving for a meaningful experience or paying down debt. Concrete examples can help you picture how this works in daily life. Suppose you commonly purchase a fancy latte before work. If you spend 5 days a week at $4 a cup, you are spending around $20 weekly, which translates to about $80 a month. A snapshot might prompt you to try a homebrewed option that costs about 50 cents per cup. The weekly difference would be roughly $40, which accumulates to several $100s in a year. Another example involves grocery spending. If a shopper notices that convenience items add up, snack bars, pre-cut vegetables, or ready-made meals, they may decide to prepare meals in bulk on Sundays. A snapshot shows the impact not only of the occasional impulse but of the cumulative effect of several small choices across the week. Subscriptions are another area where snapshots are particularly revealing. It is common to overlook how many small recurring charges accumulate. A snapshot can prompt you to question the value you derive from each subscription and to consider pausing or trimming services that do not align with current needs. The snapshot method is adaptable to different budgeting personalities. If you prefer strict rules, you can set daily or weekly caps for certain categories and use snapshots to enforce them passively. If you favor flexibility, you can apply snapshots as a learning tool, adjusting your choices in response to the data rather than forcing reductions that feel punitive. The goal is to create a feedback loop that makes you aware of how your spending translates into real life. A simple snapshot routine works for many people because it mirrors how your brain processes information, small, immediate signals that you can act on without waiting for a monthly summary. The routine can be built around your existing life. If you commute by bus, you could snap receipts from quick purchases at the stop. If you work from home, you could snapshot expenditure on takeout or online purchases during the workday. The key is to make the process a natural extension of your day rather than a separate chore. Think of your snapshot as a bookmark for a moment when money and meaning intersect. The reflection you add after each snapshot should be brief but purposeful. Ask questions like, what did I buy, and why did I buy it now? Was there an alternative that would have delivered similar value at a lower cost? How did I feel before and after the purchase, and did the feeling drive the decision or merely follow a habit? You will likely notice 2 recurring patterns. First, many small purchases are bought to chase a temporary mood or to fill a small gap in satisfaction. Second, there is often a mismatch between what you want in the long run and what you purchase in the moment. By identifying these patterns, you can design low-friction responses that keep you moving toward the outcomes you care about. For example, if you realize that after a stressful day you reach for a snack in the middle of the afternoon, you can plan a healthier alternative that still satisfies the craving, such as a fruit cup or a short walk outside. If you notice that your budget allows for a weekly date night but you end up spending on extra items during the outing, you can set a pre-commitment such as a spending cap or a shared menu plan that keeps you aligned with your values. Another practical trick is to pair snapshots with a simple visual cue. You could create a brief habit cue like a tiny sticker or color tag in your notebook when you log a purchase. The cue becomes a quick reminder of the pattern you are building and helps you maintain momentum even on busy days. If you want to escalate the effect, you can introduce small accountability routines. Share your snapshot progress with a trusted friend or partner who can offer encouragement or ask thoughtful questions. The aim is not to shame yourself for what you did but to invite constructive feedback that helps you tailor your approach to your life. You might also experiment with positive reinforcement. For instance, after a full week of consistent snapshots, you reward yourself with a small experience that does not undermine your progress, such as a movie night at home or a long walk in a park. The reward reinforces the habit in a way that is aligned with your long-term goals. It is important to remember that the snapshot approach is not about perfection. It is about creating a gentle, continuous learning process. Some weeks will reveal clear patterns and obvious adjustments. Other weeks will be quieter, and that is fine. Consistency over time matters more than occasional breakthroughs. If you encounter obstacles, treat them as data. For example, if you miss several days due to travel, you can reset the routine by documenting 2 or 3 entries when you return, and you can adjust expectations to fit your current schedule. The ultimate aim is to develop a sustainable practice that you can maintain for months and years. Put simply, spending snapshots train attention, and attention trains behavior. When you notice a purchase, you interrupt the automatic script long enough to decide whether the spend is worth the momentary gain or whether you want to redirect that money toward a more meaningful goal. The process evolves from a curiosity about your spending into a deliberate dialogue with your future self. In 2 weeks you can usually see a shift in how you allocate discretionary money, a broader sense of control over expenses, and a calmer mindset about money in general. To begin, choose a simple starting point. Decide where you will store snapshots, what you will record, and how you will review them. Set a commitment that feels doable, such as 1 snapshot per day and a weekly review every Sunday evening. Then start capturing. As you collect data, review it with 2 questions in mind: what pattern stands out most clearly this week? What one small change would make the biggest difference in that pattern? The answers guide your actions, not the other way around. In summary, spending snapshots are a concrete yet flexible tool for translating daily choices into meaningful change. They tether abstract goals to immediate observations, and that pairing often yields better follow-through than any broad budget rule alone. The practice rewards consistency, reflective thinking, and a willingness to experiment with small adjustments. If you have a goal like saving for a meaningful experience, paying down debt, or simply building a clearer sense of financial well-being, spending snapshots can be a practical ally. The discipline you develop through this routine supports broader financial health and a calmer relationship with money. Remember, this approach does not guarantee outcomes or promise market moves. It is an educational method designed to increase awareness and control over everyday spending. If you take the time to log your purchases, reflect on them honestly, and implement small, testable changes, you will likely notice improvements in both your spending patterns and your sense of financial agency. If you would like to try this approach, start with a single week of snapshots, then decide how to adjust the routine based on what you learned. The most important thing is to begin and to stay curious about how your daily choices align with what you value most. This journey is not about renouncing small pleasures but about reclaiming your time and money for the things that matter to you. The power of spending snapshots lies in their accessibility and their relevance to real life. They translate abstract ideas into concrete actions, and they remind you that you are the author of your own spending story. By delegating the responsibility for every purchase to a brief moment of reflection, you create space for intentional decisions and a greater sense of autonomy. Your future self will thank you for the care you show your money today, and that care compounds, quietly, week by week.